It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Lehigh Hawks assistant softball coach, Pattie Ruth Taylor. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college softball?
Yeah, for sure. So it's actually funny because I didn't think I wanted to coach when I was playing at all. And then I had a semester left of my master's program. So in that semester, I started giving lessons to kind of like an age range of like fifth graders all the way up to about eighth grade and freshman year in high school. When I first started, I was like, oh, I don't want to do lessons. And then I kept going and I watched my kids get better. And then, there was a lot of success coming from that way. And so then I started applying for jobs. My undergrad was in business, and then I got my master's in leisure, sport, and tourism. So I thought I wanted to kind of go like the sports marketing or some type of business degree. And I started interviewing, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to do this. And then I just went out and started applying for some coaching jobs. And it was about when I started getting like some calls, it's when I really started getting excited, and I could tell there was a passion to coach there.
What was it like going to Middle Tennessee State and playing collegiate softball for them?
Yeah, so it's a really special experience. It's that place has a big spot in my heart. It's a pride school. It's very proud of everything they've done. It's a community school, so they're big on the community. And when it comes to athletics, we had a lot of support. So it's really something that holds a special place in my heart.
What was that like getting to put on that blue jersey for Middle Tennessee?
Yeah, like I said, it was special. When my first year there, we brought in about eight different incoming freshmen or transfers, and it was special because we were told we're there to like change the culture and change that program and put it back on the map. And we all started um, in 2014, and then by 2018 we had won the first Conference USA championship in softball for MTSU. So it's something that I'll always hold on to and something I'm very proud to be a part of.
Of course, during your time at Middle Tennessee State, what were some of your biggest accomplishments?
Yeah, so I think just like I said, winning that conference championship for the first time, it was the first time we actually at MTSU we're in two divisions, so you have to have a good record and like a buy-in to get into the tournament. So it was our first year actually ever making it to the tournament, and then we ended up winning it. So that for sure is like at the top of it. We beat Alabama in our career there. We going to back to Tuscaloosa for our regional was really an awesome experience. I think um, just really all those things that happen as a team because we came in so close to each other. It's what always will stick out to me.
What was that experience like, as you said, beating Alabama, who is a known softball program?
Yeah, no, it was really awesome. It's funny because we started our career in Tuscaloosa because we went down there to play them in the fall. And then that senior class, we also ended our careers at Tuscaloosa because that's where our regional is. So just, being able to compete on the same level as them, and, not just compete, but actually hang in there and to really put MTSU on the map and something like that it goes a long way. And it's something that, um, as a program, it really helps them out when it comes to recruiting and just that experience that comes along with it.
Of course, after your time at Middle Tennessee State, what was it like getting into coaching and going as a grad assistant to UConn?
Yes, so It's funny. So one of my first interviews was actually with Marissa Young at Duke, and her assistant coach at the time was Laura Valentino. And I interviewed and with Duke, and Laura was on the call, and then I was actually it was like 4th of July weekend, and I was out on the lake with my friends, and I get a call, and it's from Laura, and she leaves me a voicemail, and she's explaining that she just got offered the head coaching job at UConn. And so I gave her a call back, and she was like, any interest in coming to Connecticut? And I was like, sure. I've like never been there, but like I'm all on board. I respect her mission, her vision, and it's something that I knew I could really grow from. So I had to go through like the process of interviewing with Connecticut, and she called back and was like, hey, like, you still want it? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, do you want to come see the place? I'm like, nope, I'm coming regardless. So literally the first time I ever pulled up in Connecticut or Yukon was the first day of my job. So it was an incredible experience.
How was that experience like starting off in your coaching career as a grad assistant? And what did you learn as a grad assistant at UConn?
Yeah, so it's funny, from playing to coaching, it's a 180. There's so much that you don't realize that our coaches did behind our backs, or that they took care of for us. So it was really eye-opening, and I learned from Laura Valentino and Christy Novaton and Jessica Jacobsons, who's all had very successful careers in their playing time and their coaching careers. So having those three as mentors during that was something that, I think it really helped set me up for getting like a full-time assistant job. And it's something I really appreciate, and their hard work, and kind of learning from their mentality and taking that into my career is something that, it really stands out. And it's something that I can only keep learning from them, even if I'm not right under their belts.
Of course, how was that like, obviously going from being a player at Middle Tennessee to going to UConn to become a grad assistant and learn how to become an assistant coach?
Yeah, I mean, it was probably my hardest transition when it came to switching over. I think it's good because you can relate to the players. You've been there like a lot closer than some of the other coaches had been. But also at the same time, it's like, whoa, like there's still a little bit of age gap, and the thought process is a lot different. So learning kind of how I'm a big self motivator, but learning how to kind of motivate others, and learning that everybody's different and what level of motivation they may need. That was really hard transition for me, and just being able to, you can't always teach the hard work piece of it. It's just more of like, hey, I'm here for you. Like, you got to show up and do the same for me. So it's really, learning how to take those leaderships, that skills that you had on the field, and transition that into teaching other people about that leadership standpoint of coaching.
How did your 2 seasons at UConn as a grad assistant help you to where you are now at Lehigh as an assistant coach?
So I think it really built my foundation. The first year coaching as the volunteer there was actually COVID. So that's an experience that can't always, people don't really teach you. It just happens. So, being able to kind of hang with that and get through that was difficult. And then the next year was the year after COVID. So still a lot of restrictions. And I think just there was experience that happened there that might not ever happen in somebody's career ever again. So I believe that being able to work through that, and to work through that and kind of get through that was something that also helped set that foundation, because those are some challenges that people had never gone through. And now it's just a way of, if we can roll through that, then we can roll through about anything.
How's it been like, obviously working at Lehigh as a full-time assistant coach?
Yeah, so it's been awesome. It's one of those things sometimes you don't know how much you know until you kind of get on your own. So I've seen myself grow so much. I've also seen myself learn so much. Our sport is evolving every day. So being able to also evolve with it goes a long way. Having kind of my little pitching staff, it's a special bond that you don't really understand until you're there. And the team as whole, they're a great group of kids, so that makes the world of a difference. And Lehigh's vision for, we always talk about the championship experience. So, we pride ourselves on the championships we have won in the Patriot League, but I think what's awesome is you still really got to work at it, and so Lehigh, it's never about maintaining where you are. It's always trying to get to that next level.
What has that been like, obviously getting to coach the pitchers as you were once a pitcher in college?
Yeah, so it's a special bond. As a pitching coach, you kind of feel every failure that your pitchers have, or you feel every success. So you really grow a lot together. Um, I think that watching them grow on and off the field is something that's really special to me. Being able to, we always talk that we're going to push you to your limits. We're going to get you, you're going to be pushed harder than you ever have been, but it's watching them grow and realize that they have so much more in them is something that I really enjoy, especially with like pitchers. We're a smaller group. We only have about 4 pitchers. So you really get to learn each other. And as a pitching staff, we always know what everybody is working on. So I think that also really helps that bond, because we know what people are going through, what they are trying to reach, and we don't let that go under the radar. We make sure we know what we're doing so we can support and motivate everybody to reach their individual goal. And then, of course, that comes together as a team goal.
What was that feeling like the first time you took the field as an assistant coach for Lehigh?
Oh, nervous. Definitely nervous, but also so exciting. I'm a big pacer, so I don't really sit down during games. So I just remember like walking the lengths of the dugout when I wasn't calling pitches. But it's kind of the same feeling you get when you're playing. It's just that nervous but awesome feeling that it's just special. You realize when you're out there, when you're about to start a game, you just feel really grateful and really thankful. And that's something that, whether that was my first game or that's my 50th game here, it's something that means a lot to me.
Of course, as a pitch coach, what is that like? Obviously, seeing those pitchers throw out their first pitch of their career versus, let's say, their 1,000 career pitch.
Yeah, it's special. It's something I remind our girls though that, whether it's your first pitch or it's your 1,000th pitch, like don't ever take it for granted. It goes by quicker than you ever realize. So, watching them be able to do something they've, accomplished, whether that's, go out and throw a pitch for a Division I program. And then just reminding them like, hey, you're good enough to play D1, but there's so much more. So let's not maintain that. But it's just something that's really special. And like I said, just don't take it for granted, because your 1,000th pitch will come sooner than you'll ever realize.
As a pitching coach, what are some of the things that you look at in most pitchers when on the road?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's that confidence that comes with it. How do they carry themselves? How does their team play behind them? What is it? How do you respond to whether, something good or something bad? It's just really your presence out there. And that goes a long way when it comes to pitching in college softball.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you started to build upon as an assistant coach for Lehigh?
Yeah. So I think it's really that team first mentality, but, we really talk a lot about holding each other accountable. And that's not just on the field, that's off the field too, leading by example, and realizing that, softball is what we do. It's not who we are, but that softball really creates a lot of our character values as we go on in life. And like I said, we're pushing you to the limit. There's stuff, it might just be on the softball field, but it's going to take you a long way in the real world as well. So it's really just being able to push yourself when the going gets, when it gets hard. You got to keep going. There's days that you're going to need a second, but it's being able to push through those harder times. And, when you fail, that's just to get better. It's not the end of the world, especially in our sport, because, you can bat 300 and that means you're striking out still like 7 times. So it's really just being able to understand that you are going to fail, but it's about how you come back. And I feel like that's something we really like preach and talk a lot about in our culture as a program.
Of course, who are some of the teams that you face in your conference each week?
Yeah, so we play Boston University, Army, Colgate, Lafayette, Holy Cross, and Bucknell. That's our Patriot League.
What is that like, obviously, getting to play those schools like yourself, like Holy Cross, but also getting to play the military academy schools like Army?
Yeah, no, it's really awesome. I think we went to Army this past season, and it was really awesome to be on Army's campus. It's a very prideful thing to see. So I think um, both are great experiences. No matter where you go in our league, it's something really awesome to be a part of, and just being able to see different campuses is something that's really awesome, not only for me but like our girls. It's awesome to see other campuses, especially even like in the preseason. Like this year we're going down to Alabama, and just being able to play on someone else's field and be in their atmosphere, it's something that's really awesome and a great experience.
Of course, as you talked about going down to Alabama, what will that feel like going down to Alabama as they are a powerhouse softball program?
Hey, it's fun. It's one of those things that we all throw the same size ball. We are playing all the same dimensions. Playing at the Roadhouse is such an awesome experience. I'm actually really stoked for our girls to do that, because I have played there, and it's something you don't forget. It's an experience that you'll hold on to, and not many people can say they opened up opening weekend at Tuscaloosa. So I think it's something that's we're ready for the challenge, and whatever it brings, we're ready to go with it.
Of course, for you, what is that feeling going to feel like to go down to Tuscaloosa once again, now as a coach, and get to play and coach against them as you played with against them as a player?
Yeah, I mean, it's that bittersweet feeling. It's that Patrick Murphy does an amazing job with his program. So if it's just same thing. It's about that experience, and getting able to play in that environment. And I'm really excited for our girls. It's an awesome thing. Like I said, something you won't forget. And it's just about that experience, staying in the moment. And like I said, we're all playing the same game. So just going out and play Lehigh softball, that's all we can ask for.
What are some of the traditions that you have started to help implement?
Yeah, so it's a good one. I think for the traditions, it's just oh, there's so many already at Lehigh, just with Coach Troy and being here so long. So I really don't know what traditions I feel like I've implemented, but it's really been really awesome to watch the traditions that Lehigh softball has had over the years, and kind of see those elevate to Fran, like with Fran being here for the last 28 years.
Of course, what does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play college softball?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different for everybody, but right now travel ball is so huge in the softball world. So, we if we see a kid that we really enjoy at a travel ball tournament, then and we're able to, we're really looking to get them out here for their official visit or visit, and what that can look like is time with the coaches, tours of the campus. We love getting future players with our current players, and watching some practices, seeing us lift and get to work. I think that's kind of like a typical visit for one of our recruits.
What does the official visit look like on the softball side for Lehigh?
Yeah, so I think like I said, you're getting a lot of time with the coaches. We want to make sure that Lehigh's the right fit for you, and that you're the right fit for Lehigh. We take pride in like getting to know not just our player or our future prospect athlete, but also their families. So being able to have that quality time with them, and get them on campus, give them a tour, and having them be able to meet our current players, and see see how they get along with that. Let them watch some of our practices and lifts, so they can see what goes into a normal day as a Lehigh softball player.
Of course, as an assistant coach, what is it like getting to see them put on that jersey on the freshman year, that brown jersey, versus seeing them put it on for the last time as a senior?
Yeah, I mean, it's bittersweet. That first time it's really exciting, and that last time there's so many mixed emotions, but I think our girls really give it their all in their 4 years here. So, with that, it makes it a little bit harder to take off that jersey for the last time. The first time you put it on, you realize what all you've worked for is coming into reality, and it's just a special moment for those girls, for us as coaches, and us as a program.
What are some of your future plans for the Lehigh softball program?
Yeah, keep it simple, but we want to be a powerhouse in the Northeast. Continue to keep putting Lehigh on the map. I think that comes with recruiting, and we're really excited about the recruiting classes that we have coming in. So, just trying to be one of the best in the Northeast.
What advice would you give those high school athletes that are looking to become college softball players?
Yeah, it's just everybody says it, but you got to work. You got to work really hard, and it's about enjoying the process. Don't let it get too big. I think nowadays getting recruited and everybody wants, and nothing wrong with it, but everybody wants to go D1. Just realizing what's the right fit for you. Is D1 the right fit for you? Is D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA? They're all amazing programs, and to play a college sport, no matter what the level is pretty incredible. And it's something that not many people get to do. So if it's something you're passionate about, is keep working and keep getting yourself out there. And when it gets hard, you gotta push a little bit more and realize that in the end it is worth it.
What advice would you give those college softball players that are looking to play in college and then go on to professionally, whether it's Athletes Unlimited, the MPF, or even overseas nationally?
Yeah, softball's a small world. So getting to know those connections and, what sets yourself apart, and, are you willing to do what it takes to get to that next level? And, like I said, it's a small world. There's connections all around us, and being able to use those connections, and same thing. Like, you got to keep working, not just because you're here, and you gotta keep working to get to that next level.
What advice would you give those players that are looking to play for a national team like Team Canada, Team USA, or Team Mexico and go to the Olympics?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. Just keep working, and it's the best of the best. So it's really being able to outwork the people right there next to you, and what are you, to make sure you look at yourself and like, hey, do you have what it takes to get there, not just physically but mentally, emotionally, and representing your country is something that's really special. So I have such major respects for the ones that do that.
What advice would you give those future people that are looking to get into college coaching, whether it's being an assistant coach or even become a head coach?
Yeah, it's a grind, but it's a grind that's so worth it. Um, it's something that I think it's so special. I think being able to give back to the sport that has given us so much goes such a long way. Being able to really look at these young ladies and see them go and do so much on and off the field. I hold a lot of pride to that, and being a mentor and a leader for them. So it's a grind, and it's something that not everybody always understands what you have to go through. But it's so well worth it.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Lehigh softball program app?
Yeah, so my Twitter is Pattie Ruth with 3 E's and 3 H's. And then my Instagram is Coach PR__. So,
Where can our listeners find the Lehigh softball program at on social media?
yeah, it is under Lehigh Softball on both Twitter and Instagram.
Thank you again, Pattie Ruth Taylor, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as the Lehigh softball assistant coach.
Thank you so much. It was great being here.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Pattie Ruth Taylor, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.